And if I find the right... There we go. We are live and in the world of Crimson Skies. Just as Fishy disappears.
Yep. He did say the word tea.
I have returned.
Ah. So
Yes,
you were back a second ago and then thought, right,
Yes.
okay, I can go. And you got.
Yep. He merged into the background.
So welcome one and all to the first session of Crimson Skies. Whereby we're not playing D&D because D&D is not the only game.
Yep.
No,
As it
I
says
actually
just
don't
above
have
my
the
head.
D&D is not the only game logo on my screen. I probably should know.
Yes.
For those of you not familiar with Crimson Skies, it's been around in a few various forms over the years. It's been a board war game where people map out air combat in these aircraft. It's been a computer game on the PC for Microsoft. It's been an Xbox 360 game. And it's been a Clicks collectible combat game. It has a very, very rich background to it and is set in an alternate 1930s whereby it's 1937 we're starting. World War One happened. There was two big influenza outbreaks in America along with Prohibition, and the resultant mess of all that happening in such close proximity to each other is the fact that the United States fragmented somewhat and is now a bunch of independent countries. And
the key points were very much the influenza and the failure of prohibition to be universal.
Yes.
It was decided on a state-by-state basis in this setting, and that split the states. There was a lot of argument, and it kind of led to them saying, well, no, we don't want to be in the US.
And so a number of states seceded. When states closed down the borders to try and enforce prohibition and keep themselves safe from influenza, the only way to get around was by airship. And thus, airship travel became the de facto way of hauling goods, tourists, tourism, pretty much everything. So with everything flying in these big, slow airships, sky pirates started to come about. And as did state mafia, not mafia, militia, that's the word. Similar.
Potato, potato.
And so on and so forth.
Kill my cat.
And this game will be following the crew of one such airship with its own wing, I won't say squadron, but wing of pilots. The airship being the Bad Det.
That was it. Yes.
Which is owned by a venture capital and that lets the crew largely run it among themselves. Largely.
So, why do I have a feeling you just dangled your cat out the window, Fish? Yeah.
I haven't got a dangled cat sound on here.
It's alright, I'll record one next time.
So, would you guys like to introduce us to your characters, given that the characters know each other already, to a certain degree at least?
Well, I think given that you're in charge, Drat, I think perhaps you should introduce Masha first.
Am I going to go with the accent? If I do it once, then you can just
I'm wondering
imagine.
this as well, because if I do go with the accent that I have been practicing for Chuck, any American viewers are likely to try and track me down and shoot me. It's that good.
The Russians are likely
That
to track
really-
me down and skin me.
Just you wait till you hear one or two of the NPCs that I'm going to try and voice. I might try the first line and then give up.
Yep. Okay, let's take a run up at this then. We're not secret police, but for certain. It's the best way I can do of getting into the right voice.
Yeah, I can see that.
Masha Solomonsky, formerly of Ukraine, member of Flying Circus. And Flying Circus was also cover for Sky Bandits. She decided that the others of the Flying Circus were taking too many risks, and she abandoned them to their fate. Hence, they would very much like to hunt her down and have a word. This is a less risky occupation, or at least it's a little more predictable. She's basically slightly older than the others, and she's kind of the organisational mum of the team. She is very much the organiser, the planner, and tactician. She's never been a daredevil. She's a good pilot and an excellent gunner, but she is happy to let other people do the stunting, as long as it doesn't endanger the rest of the troop and now the crew. And she does have a Russian accent, and I'm not doing it if they're not making me. I did a Lenyo. I did South African for an entire thing in Wars. I'm not doing it with Russian.
8 or 9 episodes of that. That was fairly epic.
That was. I'm gonna have to do it again.
If Masha is the mother of the squadron, then Chuck is definitely the annoying teen. Chuck Shackelford. Chuck Shackelford is he's kind of from all over, really.
That's just to excuse your accent wandering.
Well, no, in fact, his parents have homes in Hollywood, New York, and London. He is the son of an American heiress and a British former Royal Flying Corps air ace who is himself from the lesser end of a very wealthy British family. So Chuck grew up around planes, really. He's always been a flyer. It's just there was nothing else he was ever going to be, not with those parents. It's just the way it works, okay?
Just figured out the accent.
What? Go on then.
I was listening to Solo the other day.
Oh God, I wish you hadn't said that.
It's the space pilot. It's the
It
guy.
is a bit, isn't it?
It is. It's
Oh,
Mickey.
no, see, now I'm not going to be able to do it again now because that's going to be in my head and it's going to ruin it. Like if it wasn't already ruined.
Sorry.
I think you can tell a lot about, really you can tell everything you need to know about Chuck from the fact that he is 18, thinks he's the best pilot anywhere in the world and has the call sign Midas.
Midas, yeah. Masha goes by the codename Madonna, on the grounds that Masha is Russian for Mary, and Mother Mary.
Which
Hence
just
Madonna.
leaves Robinson to update us.
Yeah, I am a space pistol, so I'm going to do a lot of Scott.
I think we might have just lost him.
Yeah, right.
No, you're okay. Well, you're okay here.
It's interesting actually because my dad had a cousin called Hamilton.
Would that be Mr. Quigley?
Yeah. Do you know my dad? Arthur Clark Quigley.
Well, I wouldn't like to say no, but yeah.
He's gonna kill me.
Sorry, I rudely interrupted. You were saying, Robinson.
No, it's fine. Because apparently I have network problems with night bites at the moment, so I'm probably Daleking for him.
You are.
Yes.
But go for it anyway.
Connection just improved very slightly.
Yes.
It's gone green. Quick, speak now.
It's gone from 1 red to 2 amber.
He was a somewhat crackpot engineer who likes proving his superiority over everyone else, so there's a bit of chuck in there. But while he was working on a new method of flying, or attempting to pioneer a new method of flying, he had a rival which stole some of his designs, and in an attempt to track them down has joined a crew to travel over the US to try and narrow down his position.
Yeah.
So,
Fragmented states. What's the official term for the former US? Is it?
until you asked, I could have answered that. And now it's completely gone out of my head.
Oops, sorry.
Hang on. We can dig under here without...
Yes, indeed. Hello, Meki and Creature.
Hello, Mickey and Fritchie, good evening to
I
you.
need to move the D&D is not the only game logo because I've realised it's over the top of the chat, which doesn't really work so well for reading the chat.
Not so
You can
much.
tell I added it at the last minute.
I believe it is still called North America, but
Okay.
it is just not the United States of America.
Okay. Trumpian. fragmented.
Not
because
that
they
I've got
couldn't agree
a
with
few
each other.
source books.
Subtle, dude.
I did manage to get the entire set of the Fasa stuff.
Nice.
Cool.
Actually, no, correction. One of the novels is what I'm missing. I've got Rogue Flyer. I haven't got the second novel.
Okay, apparently I have no sound. Yep, my microphone is recording nothing. Windows has done it to me again, hasn't it?
Oh, wonderful Windows. We can hear you loud and clear, but
sweet. Yeah, his green screen keeps green
That
screening him out.
should fix it, and I should now have a microphone again. Yep. Thank you for pointing that out.
Which does mean your god awful
Fortunately, you
accent
pointed
only
it
went
out
out.
before we really got anywhere. So
I
yeah,
figured.
my god awful accent
Yeah.
only went out on Nightlight Stream, not mine.
thank goodness for that.
Yeah, only on the one everyone's watching.
Yeah. Only on the important one where the GM is.
One of these days, I'll
Yeah.
remember to pick up the software that Fisher uses for his green screen and give it a crack. Right. So, we've met the
A
crew.
real green screen is far better, but I don't have a real green screen.
Now, currently, the Bad Det and her crew are holed up in Skyhaven,
Okay.
which is a hive of scum and villainy
Great.
in
Sounds
Colorado.
fun.
It's in Free Colorado. Very few... Known as Free Colorado because there's not much by way of law there, which is why it's such a pirate haven.
Yeah.
It's where the pirates go to basically squander their hard-fought loot. So it's
So
also
it should probably not be called Free Colorado, but bloody expensive Colorado.
Looks at her disadvantages. Thinks, oh, good. Oh, wacko. Oh, the things I took to get an extra couple of levels in skills.
I
Oh,
had
yes.
forgotten that Hotshot Pilot was a hindrance, not an advantage.
Yeah. Yeah, it's something that gives me a reason to occasionally walk up behind you and slap you in the back of the head quite hard.
yeah,
Yeah. So does my other hindrance, Impulsive.
impulsive hotshot pilot. That's just asking for a Gibbs a day, really, isn't it?
It is. It Gibbs a day keeps common sense away. Yes. Where was called
So
Masha?
Gibbs a day keeps concussion in play, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, Ford Masha has the further disadvantage, so I probably should be keeping accent up. If I
So,
can. It's
Um,
also superstitious, oh god.
it goes with the heritage.
Yup. Okay, so Skyhaven. In
Skyhaven,
Colorado.
yes. It is not just one small. Go on.
Poker chips.
Poker chips. Yes, you will need poker chips. I
We
have
need
here.
three
Draw
poker
three
chips.
poker chips each.
Not sure if you can hear it rattling.
Oh yes.
If I
can
look
definitely
away
hear
while
it rattling.
fishing around. So, fishing around for Fishy's chips. Let's see. 3 chips for Fishy. 1, 2,
Fishing where the fish are.
3 chips for Fishy. We have red, white, and
So
blue.
yeah, for anybody who doesn't already know, we are playing
Oh.
this using the Deadlands.
Fish, one of each.
Yeah, that's cool. Using the Deadlands Classic system with some tweaks. One of the features of Deadlands is that it uses a deck of cards for certain things, such as initiative, and that the players have poker chips which can be spent to do things like re-rolling dice. There are lots of white chips, a lesser number of red chips, and a very few blue chips, and I have somehow managed to come up with one of each, which is pretty cool.
So, Drut gets. There's 1. There's a dog. 2.
This is the distraction value of a doglet.
3 for Drut. Drut has red
White,
and 2
white,
white.
red. Okay. I can cope with that.
And Robinson gets 1, 2, 3.
Mercudor is absolutely right, though, that in a face-to-face game, poker chips can also be used to attract the DM's attention by phone.
Yes.
Can.
So I have oversized dice for that.
Robinson has white, white, blue. So these are poker chips that the players can use to add to their die rolls.
Are you using the same rules as in Deadlands?
Yes.
Pretty much. Okay, in which case, a character can use his fate chips, which is what these are, in any one of 3 ways: to improve trait and aptitude checks, save his skin by cancelling wounds, and trade them in for basically experience points. The most important ones are using them to improve your trait and aptitude rolls. You can also use them to improve the strength portion of hand-to-hand damage, which is quite useful.
Most common chips, the white chips, are when you spend a white chip, you get an extra die on your roll as if you had a higher level in skill. This is a roll and keep system, so however many dice you're rolling, you will keep only the highest result. But if you get to roll 5 d12s, for example, and keep the highest one, you've got a better chance of getting a good result than if you're just rolling 2 d12s. I say 5 d12 purely at random, not for any particular reason, not because that's how good a pilot Chuck is. Which, for those who know the system, yes, that's a damn good pilot.
Yes, Chuck is a damned good pilot.
Yeah.
He's almost as good as he thinks he is.
A red chip lets you roll the bonus die and add it to your current highest die total. So instead of giving you just an extra die to roll, it lets you roll and add. The only problem is, whenever a hero uses a red chip for a trait or aptitude roll, the marshal gets to draw from the pot. The knight can indeed use fate chips against us. Yeah, I'm the only one with red chip.
No, you're not.
Chips in a similar way to the way we do.
Fishy also has a red chip.
Oh, yes.
Because he has one of each.
Yes, one of each. Blue chips are just like red, except they don't give the marshal a draw, and only one blue chip can never be spent on a single action. Any of the others, you can basically... Oh no, the white ones you can respend. You can spend as many as you like.
Yeah, but once you've spent a red or a blue, you can't go back and spend any more white chips.
Yeah.
There's a no going back.
Yup. So yeah, that's basically the outline. We're probably going to burn through them on a regular basis, and you're supposed to get given them on a semi-regular as well.
Yeah.
For doing stuff.
It's the equivalent of how brownie points were used.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the many rules from many games which contributed towards my creating the brownie point system that I use.
Yeah, so things like good role-playing, or something ingenious at a pivotal moment, or just generally doing something I completely hadn't expected and hadn't planned for, will probably get a chip, as will completing certain marker points.
Something still known to many of us as the Stump the Judge Award, because that's what it was called in the Marvel Superheroes role-playing game, way back, many years ago.
I'm sorry, you're going to do what?
Yeah. Yes, usually if somebody does that to me, the response is, interesting. And you can hear the wheels turning on the...
Do you think that the GM getting to draw a chip when you spend a red chip is basically just to do with the fact that every time you spend a red chip, McCarthy gets a little bit closer? I mean, we are playing in America.
Yeah,
I
to
like
be
the
fair.
music stopped.
Right, so...
Okay.
Whilst docked up for repairs, restock and refuel, and possibly rearm, these are fighter pilot... Well, I say fighter pilots. At least one of your planes is a fighter.
I believe mine is.
Yes, you've got the fighter.
Yeah.
Fishy's does have a gun, but I wouldn't classify it as a fighter.
No, mine's a racer with a gun on it.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
The other thing...
I'm sure during the character creation stream I came up with a name for it, but I can't remember what
I think you probably did.
I'm just going to have to go back and rewatch that stream.
The other thing that's worth mentioning, we mentioned that cards control a lot of the action. Normally when you have a deck of cards, the first thing you do is take out the jokers. Not in Deadlands. And the red joker and the blue joker work slightly differently. So they stay in the deck, and they make me smile when they come up.
I'm not used to being on this side of the cards.
Get used to it, I'm still going to run Tor.
Excellent.
Well, I will be running Deadlands again, so yeah.
And indeed Shatterzone, before I get to run Tor, I will be running some Shatterzone. That has a specific custom card deck, but it still counts.
So the crew's been refueling, rearming, repairing, and generally chilling out, and probably spending the profits of your last run There are many bars in Skyhaven. It is not so much a city or a town, but a sprawling. I suppose it is closer to a city, but the layout is, as you might expect, high up in the mountains, so it's not all in one area, and a lot of it is built out of wrecked airships and other such fun things. So one of the main diners is the chassis of an airship that's been blown apart, wrecked, and someone's built a diner in it.
Okay.
You know, small things like
I know
that.
there's very little law in Free Colorado, but how much have cultural norms shifted? Will anyone serve me a drink? I'm only 18.
Yes.
Cool.
You are with the crew of an airship. To all intents and purposes, you're old enough to know what you're doing.
Right, yep, that's cool.
If someone was to actually reveal your age, that might be a little different. But that conversation tends not to happen. So unless people explicitly know you're 18, you're going to get served.
Right. That's cool.
This is an excellent way to not piss a reason to not
I can
piss off
see him
Masha.
getting himself into trouble by boasting about the fact that he got his pilot's license at age 15.
Yeah, only if you then say
and then
how long ago
casually
that was.
mentioning 3 years ago by mistake.
Yeah.
This could happen, yeah. Have I got a bar room set up for a brawl?
Uh-huh. And the man in the back said, everyone attack into
So, it's 9 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
Those who are hungover probably might miss the telegram coming over the wires.
Nah.
But handout, yes.
No.
The radiographer comes jumping up to the crew room and says, "Got a message from the bosses. You might want to hear this."
The crewman is apparently a messenger from Victorian London.
Yes,
British.
Welcome to
Welcome to
Colorado,
America. Yeah.
where the Baker Street Irregulars have taken over the crew of our ship.
Oh, that's brilliant. They now have to.
Oh, come on, look, I stowed away.
Yeah, go for it.
And then they found me and I got a job.
Speak up, Wiggins. What is it?
Okay, message reads: Bad deck crew, stop. Sending airman as observer, stop. We'll have instruction on special directive operation, stop. ETA 5 days, stop. Hold position until arrival, stop.
I don't like being nailed down for this length of time. It seems unsafe. However,
Is it my imagination, or did we just get ordered to spend 5 days in the bar?
I believe instead it was ordered to spend 5 days in readiness. You might want to spend slightly less time in the bar and more time maintaining your vessel. No, I'm not doing vessel. I am not
It's not a nuclear
You-
vessel, so it doesn't count.
we are not at home to Mr. Chekhov. No.
I was waiting
I'm
for
glad
someone
you
to
think
do
it's
that.
funny.
Him or
Oh,
his
shut
son.
up, Icarus.
Saw it coming. No. Okay. So of course we have no idea who we're waiting for. Airmen, not airmen. So we're looking for multiples. And that's 5
yes,
days
all
from
right.
now.
I hadn't noticed that. I'd read it as airmen, but no, it's airmen, isn't it?
Airmen. Yeah.
They're like postmen, but they just deliver bottles of oxygen.
And operate presumably on Taladar at the moment, but never mind. Okay. So yeah, we're waiting for two or more people. We've got 5 days. Special directive operation. We're going to have to be ready to go in 5 days.
I like the sound of this special operation business.
I would like to know more about what it is. Oh yeah, Meki, my Russian accent is atrocious. I do apologise. And I apologise to anyone who is Russian, who knows anyone who's Russian, who's ever been to Russia, or has ever watched
Who's
a
ever
James Bond
heard an
film.
actual Russian accent?
Who's ever actually heard a Russian accent.
Did I mention that I
apologise.
work with a Russian? I'm going to share him the VOD of this.
Oh God.
Oh god, the thing is that if you do the whole "we're not super police, that's for certain," that somehow puts you into the right mindset, right sort of grammar.
You see, the advantage that I have with my
Did I
accent
make a
is
joke?
unless somebody points out to, has it pointed out to them that he's meant to be American, no nationality in the world is going to actually identify it as being their accent, and will therefore not. Yeah, they'll be laughing at it on the basis of an awful version of somebody else's accent, not realizing.
Whereas Merlin, if I recall correctly, is British and therefore cheating.
He's cheating, yes.
See?
I like British people though.
The young radiographer's not the only Brit on the crew. So you've got
I was
five...
going to.
To be honest,
Look
even
up,
when
like,
playing
the
what was
Cambridge
basically a Greek character, I never tried a Greek accent.
When did you play Greek?
Athenocles
God,
was,
yes!
to all intents and purposes, fantasy Greek.
Yeah, but to be fair, so was everybody else, so I just went with the
Yeah.
Hercules and Xena option.
Everyone
Everybody
sounds the
has
same
the
locally.
same accent, and therefore doesn't have an accent to each other. That's the way it works. Right, so...
So you've got 5 days laid up
5 days.
waiting for.
Okay, so... oh God. It's kicking off in chat. So, we need to be ready to move, or whenever these people turn up, for whatever the job is that we are going to be needed to do. So, this means that the ship has got to be on readiness by the end of this 5-day stint.
So 3 days in the bar, 2 days spring cleaning.
Perhaps not 3 days in the bar. Perhaps half a day in the bar. Half a day in the bar, half a day.
Day and a half.
Negotiating bar time.
Yes, yes, we are, and I know how old he is.
Oh, that's cheating.
Blackmail.
Yep. Oh, and what part of the former criminal made you think she wouldn't stoop to threats? She just hasn't yet. Okay. And possibly also some training flights would be in order. Make sure everybody's skills are
Okay.
on
Now
point.
you're talking. You want to get me out of the bar? Get me into a plane. That'll do it.
Yes. You will not, however, be flying immediately after you have been in bar. So, if you wish bar time,
What do I look
fly
crazy?
first. Not even dignifying your
Come on.
response.
I flew drunk once. One time. Am I never going to be allowed to forget it?
Yes, and we have replaced the albatross. We did not need to bring it back.
Couldn't find
Never
it.
again. Vision of you flying along, opening the cockpit, and just grabbing a bird as you went past.
It's an open cockpit. I don't need to open anything. I just need to reach out.
Yeah, that's the point. Open
I think
cockpit,
it's
yes.
an open cockpit on my one, if I remember rightly.
Yes.
Or if it's not, it opens easily enough.
I'm pretty
so.
sure it is. Let me just double check.
Yeah, that's the point. Have you got?
No, it's a closed
pictures?
cockpit.
Ah,
It's
have you got the pictures of the ships, of the planes, the flying machines?
You're right. It is a closed
That
cockpit.
is a closed
indeed,
cockpit.
Yes.
So, yours is the bottom left, if I recall.
Yep, the racer is the bottom left. The fighter
got
is the
Marquette.
top right.
Yes, I've got the one with all the guns.
And the engineer flies the auto gyro.
And the engineer flies the one that looks like it came in a Christmas cracker.
And
It
now
looks
I
awesome,
remember what
though.
my plane was called.
Yeah,
Because my
Yes.
plane was Little Nelly.
that was it. Okay. So,
Oh, yes.
what are we going
You
to
are
do
never
for
getting a
5 days?
wet Nelly.
What type of engine does that actual airship have though?
The airship, it has
Yeah.
6 of them.
Okay, it's a lot of engines.
Yep.
To be honest, that's small.
It's a lot of airship.
It's a small airship, relatively
Yeah.
speaking.
How many crew are there in total? 'Cause I'm assuming it's not just us.
No, it's not just you. There is a crew of 15 to 20. So with plenty of room for other players to drop in and out, and NPCs to be shoehorned in as needed. So yeah, there are 6 engines powering this, each of them putting out a significant amount of horsepower. The airship can run, well, make forward motion, being down half its engines. So lose 3 engines, you can still crawl forwards.
Okay. So yeah, we approve of that. We are, however, if I recall correctly, working on hydrogen.
This is a hydrogen airship.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, Erixo has helium airships, largely because the helium deposits are under their land.
That's cheating. Where geographically
Shut up, Lazarus.
is that?
There's the map. No, the other map. I think it's that one.
You say convertible. Whoa.
So, Erixo
Oh, right,
is
okay.
just below you. You're in Colorado.
Oh, right, okay. Yep, with you.
There you go. It's just waiting for the map to depixelate, and now it has.
Yes, I was just about to say that's the world's least useful map, and then it depixelated and all was well.
Yeah, it's a fairly big image, so it takes a while to
Sovereign States of North
depixelate.
America.
That's it.
So the little red dotted lines would be the mentioned major Zeppelin routes.
Yes.
Makes sense.
Some of which go straight through Colorado, which puts them perilously close to Skyhaven.
Yeah, we are kind of near 3 major routes, aren't
Yes.
we? Depending on how that joins. So that's Deseret is Utah as was.
Yeah, that's basically a state full of Mormons.
Erixo is disturbingly where I'm running Deadlands. Which is a little bit worrying.
Most of the nation of Hollywood is missing in Deadlands.
Well, yeah, to be fair. Pacifica is where the werewolves live, presumably in big forests.
There are no werewolves.
That you know
so
of.
the
I've seen
so the
some
GM
of those
says.
forests.
Yes, you're
Only
playing
in-
Alan Wake in those forests.
Well, yeah, lost dinosaur tribes in there, just going, no, I can't find anyone, mate.
Well, that's
Okay.
I've been in those forests. They're great
Oh, I
firsthand.
would love to, but
I'll bet.
yeah, they do look great from a distance. Right, so we need something to occupy our time for 5 days.
Yes.
So, how long have we already been here?
You've
How
probably
much money do we have?
You've probably been here 3 or 4 days already.
Okay.
Enough time to secure supplies, make any repairs needed, patch some of the skin in the hull of the airship. Any repairs to bent spars on planes that may have been stunted just a little too much. Not saying you hit anything, but if you overstress them, they need repairs. And some of those high G turns can be a bit tough on the airframe.
Definitely a lot of
Okay.
preventative maintenance has to happen.
Yes.
Yes, mostly consisting of not letting you near a ship.
Which to Chuck is actually perfectly normal because he grew up around barnstormers. I mean,
Yeah.
his parents basically ran their own flying circus.
Yeah.
He's never seen planes flown in any way that doesn't require preventative maintenance on a
Yeah.
massive scale.
Now for Chuck, I suspect the balance between bar and getting flying time is a fairly tough one to make because Skyhaven is a very attractive proposition for barnstormers. There are caverns you can fly through, there are natural rock arches. Heck, some of the airships that are wrecked and have habitation made out of them, you can fly through bits of it. There's even a railway with a tunnel you can fit some aircraft through.
Oh god. Where's my... One thing I would suggest, please can we avoid you gambling? Sorry?
Gamble.
Uh-huh. I would hate for you to get the idea that you would need to test your skills against some of the more experienced pilots around.
I don't need to test my skills. I don't need to demonstrate my... I mean, some people are stupid and they make me demonstrate my skills because they just don't recognize a superior pilot when they see one.
Of course, they drag you to cockpit. They drag you to cockpit and they make you fly over trees again. Between trees.
No, I don't fly between. There now. That's how I fly.
And occasionally through.
No.
3 days. 3
Well, maybe
days
small
to
ones.
pick the bird's eggs out of your landing gear.
You have an unhealthy obsession with birds. Do you know that?
I'm not the one who keeps bringing them home.
Hey, I'm young. Oh, sorry.
Considering new stamp instead of kill markers, just little tweeties. Maybe big one if you should do another albatross.
Did I make a joke?
I'm sorry, we're
No, Icarus,
completely
drop made the
derailing.
joke. It's fine, go for it. This is hilarious.
Anyway, we need to make use of this time. Improve skills, ship maintenance, sensible use of time. Not drawing huge amounts of attention to ourselves. Please. Any minute now, that's just going to be a jump cut. I don't know. Chuck pissed in the corner while Merlin's boasting about his new engine designs.
I don't get how not drawing attention is sensible. If we get attention, we get jobs. If we get jobs, we get money and glory and fame and all that other good stuff we're here for.
Those attention and those bad attention.
No. Now, if there's one thing I learned from my pop. There is no such thing as bad publicity.
New character on standby. Oh boy. Well, at least try to be a little subtle about it, okay? So, I tell you what, I drew a quota, and we can all have fun. We can all have fun, and we can relax, and still keep up to date with your flight time. Okay? It's organized.
Gotta keep Nelly ticking over.
Yes. We also need to talk about the brothels. Yes. Oh, sorry. The plane. Apologies.
I don't get you.
No, and you never will.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
I kind of want to check what her charisma is. I'm a bit scared. Me and oh dear, 3d10. Okay. Primarily into leadership and overall. She doesn't do persuasion. She just scares you into submission.
It's not necessarily coming over in the way I'm playing him at the moment, but Chuck's Mian basically is focused into performance raconteur. So he spends less of his time, to be honest, he spends less of his time in the bar drinking than he does talking. He will have a drink in his hand the entire time, but he will be telling people about things that he has done in a plane for pretty much the whole time he's in a bar, especially if those people are young and female.
I suspect that drink will make it about this close to his mouth before he starts talking again and puts the drink back down again.
Yeah, several times. He can nurse 1 or 2 drinks over an entire night without any trouble whatsoever because he just doesn't shut up.
I just have a horrible image of Frodo at the Prancing Pony. Never mind.
Dancing on tables.
Well, yes. Yes, I suppose it was Pippin who was actually going to blow the gaff.
Yes.
Right. But no, Pippin's trustworthy. He's probably also asleep.
So what's the what's the plan for the next 5 days, roughly speaking?
Well, I'm giving up on the idea before I even moot it of them engaging in some form of exercise first thing in the morning. I don't see that happening. I would recommend, however.
Chuck will fly first thing in the morning.
Not
Chuck will
what
fly
I
at
said.
any time at all because there's any time of the day has different atmospheric conditions, lighting, all that good stuff. And so it's interesting whatever time he's flying.
Yeah, I
There's
didn't
never
say
a time
flying.
he doesn't want to fly.
Didn't say flying. Said exercise. Oh.
Well, what on earth kind of exercises could we possibly want to do that don't involve a plane?
Okay, so shall we say chase drills in the mornings,
Okay.
for example?
Okay.
And then, yes, socializing time. But Masha is going to spend some time trying to get to know the bars and the major players in the area.
Merlin, have you noticed that Masha disguises lunch as socializing time? Like we wouldn't have had lunch if she didn't allow us socializing time.
Oopsie.
Oopsie indeed.
Oh dear, Mechiador, you have
Incurred the wrath of the lass.
apparently incurred the wrath of Lazar Avatar.
So,
It's really long.
chase drills. Yeah, the crew are. Is that vodka? Are you getting really into character there?
Not provably. No, it's just water. It's okay.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
It wasn't a vodka bottle.
If it's vodka, I'm not drinking it. Not
Fishy,
because
do you have a
it's
deck of cards handy?
Yes. How handy?
Okay.
I'm not sure. Hang on.
I figured, what with it being the Deadlands mechanics, I thought cards might be handy.
My Jack Daniels cards.
I need to get a pair of a deck of Jack Daniels cards because I'm running on Alone in the Dark, which are completely wrong for this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually fine for Deadlands.
Fine for Deadlands.
Not so much for this.
Yeah, I need Jack Daniels cards. So, Fishy, unrelated to any mechanics of Deadlands, this is just a way of me randomising a possible event.
I
Could
do
you
need to put the jacks back in for this, don't I?
Jokers, Jacks and Jokers need to be in.
Sorry, Jokers even, not jacks. I knew what I meant.
Yeah.
It's a J word. I have to put the Jurassics in, don't I? That's
Is that Peter?
Ouch.
possibly. In the grand old days of the Republic,
Great
a
maker.
1,000 servants would change 1,000,000 light bulbs at our merest whim.
I cannot be the only one to suddenly envision velociraptors with huge hair.
Was
Peter
it-
Park. And now I want to see London Malawi web slinging. Never mind.
we
I'm
need-
glad you think it's funny.
I wish I could draw. I
We
really
need
wish
an
I could
artist
draw.
to draw some of these things.
So,
So, Fishy, would you, once you've finished shuffling in and such, could you cut the deck and just show me the card that comes up? Okay, cool, thank you.
There we go.
That's slightly freaky, but thank you.
What's particularly freaky is that I managed to cut my deck of Jack Daniels cards to the one that has a picture of Jack Daniels on it.
well done.
Right, Fishy. There are chase drills going on. It's, let's say it's the telegram came in on Monday. It is now Wednesday.
Okay.
So I'm shattered, basically. That's nice.
Rebuilt my left wing twice.
Chase drills are going swimmingly. And you notice as you're about to embark on yet another chase drill, oh how monotonous, that there's a lot of activity in the air.
Ooh. But
You can at
It
least,
doesn't concern me.
from a brief look out the window, make out the markings of both Medusas and Top Hats flying around out there. Medusas and Top Hats being two pirate crews.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Unfortunately, Chuck is impulsive, and his first instinct is, "Oh, what's that?"
Can I show off?
So he's just gonna buzz over and see what that is.
Okay.
What he will actually do is he will gain some altitude. In fact, unless they are spread out over a great
They
vertical
appear
space.
to be unusual for those two gangs flying either in formation or at least not fighting each other and flying in the same direction.
Well, okay,
So,
that's
he
disturbing.
will gain altitude as he heads in that direction, and he will fly over the top of them upside down so that he can see them clearly.
Oh
Not
god.
too close, because that would be rude.
Okay, so what you've got
Used to get
is
shot.
an element from each gang flying both in formation with each other and their own members, heading out towards the standard cargo route.
Okay. So you're causing no end of trouble now, Fish.
Why am I
By
causing?
interfering with them.
I'm not interfering with them. I'm just flying over the top of them. That's all. I'm not following them. I'm not flying through them. I'm not trying to talk to them. I just flew over the top of them, looped around, came back underneath them, and back towards the chase drill.
Right. Okay. So you're actually going to share this information now you've gone and had a look,
I suppose so.
or did you just
Looks like
impulsively?
something interesting maybe coming through, because we got an interesting mix of bogies flying together.
What do you mean flying together?
Well, I mean flying together, in one place in formation, not shooting each other.
Well, that's not right.
Top hats and Medusas, did you say?
I did.
Yeah.
Top hats and Medusas.
Top hats are out and out pirates. They regularly make themselves known on the parade of infamy. They have wanted charges on them pretty much across most states. Sorry, most nations.
Everywhere that isn't Colorado. Everywhere that doesn't have 3 in its name.
Yeah. The
Really?
Medusas are slightly less aggressive, but nonetheless pirates, and entirely female.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Okay. This is why it's quite handy playing a Ferner, because I'm still kind of wafty on the whole setting as yet. So I've never played Crimson
Yeah.
Skies.
Under
Okay.
circumstances, I might be tempted to pop those top hats, but, they're flying in company, and I don't want to shoot at a lady.
I'm sure the ladies would have no problem shooting at you.
Why do you think I don't want to shoot at them?
I'm buying him a huge cigar and some really crappy glasses with eyebrows attached. You're
I wouldn't
wandering off.
Of any squadron that would have me.
That's it. You're wandering off over 2 sentences to Groucho Marx. Okay. I think a trip into town might be in order, because if anyone's going to know about the sort of thing that's going on,
Why would you want to
especially-
jump ship, Robinson? So I've just seen it in Fish's chat. Can I jump ship? Why would you want to? Sorry to interrupt, Ruckton.
No, it's the female
I think
exclusive
possibly
ship.
to the
That's great
ship
to
full of
see
female
from.
pilots, yeah.
Oh, I see. Yes, yes. The desire to be eaten alive.
They're 3-dimensional, Robinson. You wouldn't want them.
Yes, they're not body pillows.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
so
it's a miniatures game. It's not paper tokens.
So perhaps the thing to do might be to take a trip to town, to the various bars, and see if we can sound out why these two might be working together, what's changed, or what might be brewing.
This timing
We really
seems
need
a
to
little
get ourselves
coincidental
involved in
when
their
we've got
stuff.
this special operation coming up. Over.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's not coincidental. But it's distressing to think that we'd have to find out about an operation we're involved in. by somebody else.
I'm glad you think it's funny.
Shut up, Icarus. I'm laughing because these two make me laugh all the damn time.
Okay, so basically, I'm giving you permission, Chuck, to go to town and talk to people.
Yeah,
In
but
a
you're
bar.
expecting him to come back with information,
That was a foolish piece of
not to
permission.
hand out information.
Is there an official landing spot in town, or do I just find a road?
Yes, to both. Depending on where you're going and what your whereabouts you're going, there are numerous landing places because town isn't really a single location. It's spread out around the mountainous area.
I'm going to put down in the nearest large enough flat space to the bar that I tend to drink in.
See, my theory is that if a loud, noisy, small thing is attracting all the attention and
The young thing,
gossip
not a
and stuff.
small thing.
yeah, okay, young thing then is attracting all the attention and making people talk around him, and somebody who's watching can harvest information from what people are saying, before they beat the crap out of him.
So Fishy has been given permission to go to town and fish for information.
Yep.
Yeah.
And what is Madonna going to be doing at the time?
Madonna is going to basically be in a corner of the same bar as him, watching him be noisy and attention grabbing, and see who's paying attention to him aside from her.
And what is Merlin doing, Mr. Hamilton?
Doing anything talkative is going to end in a disaster. So, with 2d4.
Yeah. Merlin, I think, should go drinking with Chuck, because I think the two of them together would be extremely fun.
I have an egg in the diodes on my left-hand
I
side.
was going to check over whatever he calls his annoying little noisy thing.
Which is currently parked outside a bar.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Oh my god, Fish has a rank in persuasion.
Yep. His two Mian skills are 1 rank in persuasion and 2 in perform and raconteur.
You see, I've got nothing.
He
in
can tell
persuasion.
everyone how great he is, and then he can try and persuade them that he really is that great.
Did you take tale-telling?
I didn't, partly because tale-telling is a very specific Deadlands
It
skill,
is,
and I didn't
yes.
think it would apply
Fair
properly in
enough.
this game,
Hello.
so I went with performance raconteur instead.
No. Fair enough, because you see, I'm packing a 4-point overall skill
God.
and 3
Nice.
points of leadership. If I can find somebody suspicious, I can probably persuade them to tell us what they know, but not by persuading them. So I'll let you be the bait. Bait away, dear.
Okay, so
Okay,
cutscene to one of the many bars in Skyhaven. There
Seems
is
redundant saying one of the pilot bars, because let's face it.
everyone is, yeah. Well, they're either a pilot, an ex-pilot, or a person of negotiable affection.
Untold
Does
gold.
that make me?
Gold.
Oh yeah, and there's a few spanners types around as well.
Yes, Robinson, you are indeed
You are a
spanner.
subset of person of negotiable affection. It's just that your affection is for the planes, and we can negotiate which planes you feel this affection for at any given time.
He's an aerophiliac. Possibly an aerophile. Right. Okay.
So yes, I will head into the bar.
Heading into the bar, yep. It's
and-
despite the early hour of the morning, it's almost like a current day Vegas. Things never really slow down or stop. It's just different people fade in and out at different times, and the whole place is just rolling all day, all night.
Okay.
So the bar is ongoing. There's various radio music playing, radio shows going on in the background. People are drinking, people are generally making merry and spending their hard-fought winnings.
Sure.
Does anyone have gambling? I dread to ask.
Despite everything, Chuck is not actually stupid. So he's not just going to march in and start asking people what they know about what the Top Hats and the Medusas are doing.
How can you do this and ruin my illusions?
Instead, what he's going to do is he's going to come in, he's going to get himself a drink, and he is going to start complaining loudly about how busy the sky was when he was trying to get some barnstorming in, and he just had to give up on it because there were planes everywhere. And then he will drop in a couple of choice insults about the Top Hats mainly, and you've mentioned in passing the Medusas, to make it clear that that's who was annoying him and getting in his way, and why couldn't they just go off and find somewhere else? And he will be watching everyone around to see if anyone reacts to what he's saying, to see if anybody looks like maybe they know something.
Ooh, okay. So you're not necessarily pumping people information, but dropping all those hints and looking to see who reacts.
Initially I'm using the raconteur skill. In fact,
Yeah.
I'm performing to the room and watching to see whether it strikes a note with anyone in the audience.
Well,
So
make
it's
a
gonna
roll
be
on your
probably a combination
raconteur
of
skill.
Raconteur and scrutinize.
Yep, roll on both.
So, raconteur. It's a crap roll. It's 5 on 2d12.
Nice.
It's a basic 1 level of success, though, isn't
Yeah.
it? 5 is the basic threshold number, target number, if I remember right. I just didn't get any raises. And then scrutinize to see if I can spot anything. Lesser dice, but better roll. A 6 on the scrutinize.
Righty-ho. So, for the benefit... Actually, can I have a scrutinise roll from Madonna, please?
Yep. You can in DD. Particularly if I don't close the window that I'm looking at. Scrutinise is 4d12.
Good lord.
Spot what she's
Good
for.
at this.
And I'm making use of my double dice, since I'm assuming people still trust me.
Yep.
Right, so that one is 10.
Right, okay, so despite the possibly excessive bluster Midas is giving it, it seems that no one's suspicious as to his intent as to why he might be doing that. After all, he's spent the last few days flying around, and
Yeah.
he does have a predilection for barnstorming, so it kind of fits. But you knowing him, he's kind of going overboard a bit. But not
Yeah.
dramatically. However, both of you spot that there are a couple of guys over in the corner who have been mostly quiet and talking to themselves, despite this being a fairly bustling bar, that kind of look over at Midas's way when he mentions the Top Hats. Now, these are two guys that are clearly of the mechanic vibe. They are covered in grease, and their clothes probably will never, ever, ever have that engine oil and muck washed out, no matter how many times they may try. There's probably
Merlin,
about
you're up.
20 years of muck and grime and mechanic work stuck on those overalls. But they look his way when he mentions the Top Hats, and then decide they're going to leave.
Ah. Okay. I'm going to follow them out. And looking as casual
when
as you
their backs are
can.
to me, I will probably wink unsubtly at Asher.
Oh god.
Now, unfortunately, it would blow my cover if I left now, so another one of these, barkeep.
Yeah, the barkeep
Okay,
quite
Did you
happily-
include that it'll blow my cover as well?
Yes, but very quietly.
Probably said to whoever you currently have sitting on your lap.
Okay.
God.
Right.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to casually follow them out.
Just purely as background and further character development, by the way. one of his common tactics with young ladies, shall we say, is to invite them to fly in his plane and see how exciting it is to go barnstorming, but to point out to them that it's only a single-seater cockpit, so you have to get real close. So you ought to maybe get in some practice now.
Well, at least you're not spinning so they pass out to take them home.
Well, you haven't got that far in his plan yet.
Nor is he.
I'm just more concerned about the fact that he's going to have to... No, never mind. I'm not going to go with that. It may well be a PG stream. I don't know if she's flagged
At
in
varying
adult
points.
content.
I don't think Lil Bites is watching. I think she's playing Minecraft,
No.
but you
No.
never know.
No. So,
Thank you, Machiador.
yeah. Yes.
So, okay, following these guys out, do you have any sort of skills that would facilitate not being spotted by these two as you follow them out the door?
Would sneak do it?
It may well do, yes.
Yeah, it's a shame it sucks, doesn't it?
Not at all. It's not a shame at all as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, okay, so I'm AD12.
You've got the one level that was given you for free.
Yeah, pretty much. Also got a die that's almost big enough to fit down the dice tray. Ah, that is an 11.
Okay,
Okay, I'll take that.
if you're going to be doing things,
If you're going to do it.
well, wow. Okay, so you very cautiously follow them out. They get, I don't know, about 20 yards towards the airstrip, and they look like they're going to turn and look over their shoulder, so you sort of duck behind a buttress of one of the buildings. Give it a few seconds, stick your head out and round, fishy blanks out, and then
Yeah.
Carry on following.
He actually rolled three successes on this.
Really good stealth, yeah.
Yeah.
here's a Dre, just dropped a globe of darkness.
Yep.
I think that's out.
Very clever, fishy. And then you return to tracking them. They appear not to have spotted you and make a beeline straight for the airstrip.
Okay. What ship are they headed for?
They're going to get in a small gyrocopter.
Oh, one of those.
It's in top hat markings.
Okay.
Not hugely surprised by that.
Not so shocked, but it does mean that they've been here long enough for their base ship to be established and for their crew to be off-duty drinking.
Or at least the mechanics.
Or at least, yeah, mechanics.
Yeah, they're somewhere close by, logically.
Guessing. Presumably we are moored rather than landed, per se.
Yeah, so there are numerous pylons dotted around where you effectively hook your airship to.
Okay.
And
How
then
do we
you get tethered to the ground from that.
Right. Is it then ladders? Is it planes to get down?
It varies depending on your preference. Some of them are
They came by
Ted-
plane.
tethered at a height such that you just drop out of the hangar and fly around. Some of them are tethered at ground level, so you can literally step off. I have assumed, given that you are running chase drills, that you are tethered at an altitude where you could drop an aircraft.
Yeah, makes sense. It saves going up and down. Just to confuse people. Right, okay. So. In that case, I need to head to where I have parked my plane. My little fighter.
Little.
Little, relatively speaking.
Yeah, little. That's
Your
possibly the...
flying bunker.
It's disturbing me. It does look like something I'd put together in Empyrean.
It does.
It does a bit, actually, yeah.
It's got that whole spiritually twinned with the conservatory thing.
If only you could fit turrets on a small vessel.
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
please.
I want turrets on the small vessels, but they
Yes.
won't give them to me.
No, they won't give them to anyone.
No,
It's not
certainly.
you specifically.
Okay, so you're actually not parked up too far away. You can quite within the space of a couple of minutes get to your ship, your plane, because this is the airstrip that happens to be near this particular part of Skyhaven. Given that they're in an autogyro, they could pretty much have landed right next to the place, but they hadn't.
Right. Okay. So basically, I'm going to have to try and tail them back to their base ship, or at least try and work out which one they're based in, which might be easiest in my plane.
Yep.
Okay. So I shall hop in my little plane.
Okay. So, you're running a couple of minutes behind them. You've seen which direction they've taken off in their autogyro. You get your plane up and running, engines up, and take off, and then bank round and head in that direction. Now, you're going to be faster than the autogyro because they're not particularly quick vessels. No. What they are is agile. And they are definitely playing to that agility. Whether they've actually spotted that you're following them or whether they're just doing a pre-planned route, but they are sticking very close to the ground, following every crevice and riverway along the way.
They're flying like Chuck, but slower.
Yes.
Pretty much.
I am going to endeavour to fly casual.
I don't know. Fly casual.
Yeah. Follow without making it look like I'm following them.
Right, make me a
It's an older
piloting roll.
code, sir, but it checks out.
Okay. So, traits and aptitudes. Piloting. Piloting exists. Where the hell
Piloting
is
is
it gone?
right down at the bottom under nimbleness.
And while Drut's
Oh, yes, so
doing
it
that,
is. Yay, 14-12.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, you're almost as good a pilot
As Chuck.
And I'm a better gunner than you are.
And you're a much better gunner than he is, yeah.
Yeah.
Fishy, could you do another performance roll for me, please?
Another performance.
Mm-hmm.
I could do that.
Hey, we have a detonation.
Whoa. 15.
Very nice.
Pretty good on a D12.
Hmm.
That's 2 raises by my reckoning, assuming that it's a basic 5 difficulty.
Should be, yeah. 17.
Okay. Let's give these guys a roll to spot you.
The eagle-eyed watching may have spotted that I only have 2 skill, but it rolled 3 dice. The third die was rolled as a result of getting a 12, which explodes and adds another die.
Yeah.
Well spotted and well described there, Fish.
Yes, well explained.
I didn't
there.
think to do that.
I've got the 3D dice turned on, so I don't know
Ah.
what it is, but have
I
in
should
mind
do that,
that
actually.
It did actually
Yeah.
physically roll a third die after the first 2 came in.
I just much prefer rolling real dice if I can. So. Since I've got them. Since I bought these
Yeah.
things explicitly for Deadlands.
Yeah, I have got
Just a few
a
dice.
few real dice here, just a few.
Just a couple, huh? The odd 1 or 2.
These
So-
are my Deadlands dice.
So, Drut.
Yeah.
You're tailing this this autogyro as it's looping through a couple of the arched rock formations. And then about 5 or 6 miles out, they start climbing. And they climb hard.
Okay. I should, being slightly faster than them, be able to climb at a more shallow angle and punt towards an interception.
Yep, you're faster than them, you've got much more power, and you're a fair distance behind them, so you've got plenty of scope to judge that. To the
Right.
point that I'm not even going to ask for a roll. They climb into the clouds, you lose sight of them.
Uh-huh. Danger, Will Robinson.
What do you do at the point you lose sight?
At the point I lose sight, I'm going to go to a steeper climb and aim to head through the cloud layer.
Okay,
As close to standing on my tail as I can get.
righty-ho. Right, if I remember rightly...
The annoying thing here is that after his second drink, Chuck's curiosity will overcome him and he'll head back out take off again and
hang
see
on.
what's going on. But
I'll come
I've
back to
already
you in a
established
minute.
That he takes a long time over each drink.
Yes, I'll be coming back to you in just a couple of minutes. Your encounter's
Okay.
not over yet, Fish.
Oh, fun.
So, for those of you looking at my stream, the aircraft top right is what Drutt is flying. Twin-engined, as opposed to something akin to this that the guys she's tailing are flying. Far less power. So, yeah, Drutt pretty much standing on its tail, not entirely beyond the realms of possibility for a short time.
Just want to punch through the cloud cover to get above it, rather than risk flying through the clouds and potentially connecting with something bigger than me.
Okay, so you punch through the clouds, and as you emerge from the clouds, had you continued on your previous trajectory, you would have come out right on top of an airship, or rather right underneath an airship.
Oh, good, good. Glad I didn't.
That you have found the Top Hat's airship, complete with at least 2 combat air patrols flying around it.
Okay. Right.
They're a slightly bigger outfit than us, aren't they?
Yes.
They are a much bigger outfit than
Yeah,
us.
the airship is a much
They
bigger
can
airship.
actually field 2 combat air patrols.
Yeah.
They can even field 1 combat air patrol.
Okay, so what I am going to do then is I am going to mentally tot up how many fighters I can see
Okay,
and make sure I know where they are.
Right, you can see 4 fighters.
Okay.
Let's see, they are Top Hats, so they will be in Fairchild Brigands. That's a single-engined fighter, 2-man, mounts 40 cals on the front, and it's got a 30 cal turret on the back.
Yikes. And then what I'm going to do is continue my upward trajectory and do a loop back down into the cloud.
That's a oh shit.
Yeah, that's a I didn't see anything suspicious at all. I'm fine. The idea to be hit the cloud level layer and fly laterally for a little while before dropping and getting the hell out of dodge.
Okay,
Evasively this time,
righty ho.
without suddenly hurling it around, going, "Oh my god, I'm being chased by pirates!" No, Becky, Linda is not going for requesting docking permission. Not this time, no. 4-on-1 is perhaps not what I want to be dealing with, plus whatever guns the airship itself happens to be packing.
Yes, most bigger airships do have an array of gun emplacements for defence.
Yes, I have died often enough playing Rocket Ranger on the Amiga that I have bad memories of that.
The bad debt doesn't so much have gun emplacements as somewhere that some crazy mofo can stand on the top with a machine gun.
We have gun emplacements. They're called windows.
Pretty much. So, Fishy,
Yeah.
you're chatting to your newly found lady friend, regaling her with all manner of tales of daring do and just how much of a pain in the bum these Medusas and Top Hats were when you were trying to get your morning flying exercise in.
Scale that down a lot now that it's done its job. Mainly be talking about himself.
What could he possibly have to say?
And she looks you in the eye and says, you know, Sugar, they found themselves a particularly good job to do. When they come back, they're going to have a lot of cash.
If they come back.
Oh, don't kid yourself, Sugar. They'll be back.
Is he offering to beat up the entirety
They're,
of the
they're
pack?
working together. They're getting some new high-tech, newfangled thingamajig.
You see, the
MacGuffin
high-tech,
technology.
newfangled thingamajigs are all well and good. But it's the man behind the joystick. That's what makes the difference.
As is may be, but I guess it depends on how good the joystick's attached to the thing is.
Yeah. Conversation's going in a very odd direction there.
Yeah, I guess if you're not that good a pilot, you're gonna need a really good plane. I mean, some of us, we can fly anything. I mean, hell, I could take a tin can up and fly rings around most guys. But it's gonna make a big deal for, clowns like that. Yeah, if they get a good plane, that's gonna make a big difference to them.
Yes, Mackie.
You know, Fish, you're really missing out by not having made his surname Flashart.
I think that would have been a bit too obvious.
Yeah, it's true.
Treat your woman like your kite. Get inside her 5 times a day and take her to heaven and back.
Oh,
Direct quote, don't blame me.
yeah, he was a sad
So
loss.
you can fly anything.
Yeah, pretty much.
Care to show me?
Anytime.
Because I got a crop duster out back that ain't seen the skies in quite some time.
Okay, let's take a look at it.
She grabs you by the hand.
My mechanic skills aren't that good. I got a rank in tinkering.
Well, bear in mind, of course, out front, the mechanic is diddling around with your plane.
I don't know that. He arrived after I'd gone inside.
Yeah, he just randomly wandered up to your plane and started tinkering with it.
You can tell this is a lawless area. People can just walk up to your plane and start messing with it.
Anybody else feel that we're in the sort of the Hoth docking bay type thing? Yeah, well, what are you pulling this apart for now?
When are you taking this apart now?
So she's practically dragging you
Clean
by the
those engine
hand
intakes.
out of the bar.
Okay, yeah, he will not be attempting to resist this. He will go along quite happily.
And rather than take you to the main airstrip where you had parked and where Drat had parked, she sort of heads pretty much in the opposite direction where there's a couple of old run-down farmhouses.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see a particularly ramshackle-looking barn that you suspect probably now might have a crop duster in it.
So what, this was your pup's plane?
Something like that.
This is how you wake up without a kidney. You do know that. Oh,
Okay,
God.
well, he is a little concerned that this may be a security issue, and that he may be going to get bashed on the back of the head the moment they get inside the barn. So he will be keeping an eye out.
Oh.
He comes from a rich family. They're used to all this. People in his family get kidnapped or would get kidnapped all the time if they weren't always, 600 feet in the air.
It's very hard to kidnap someone when you're 600 feet in the air.
It is indeed. But some of the stories that he's heard from across the pond, from, the greater branch of the family, the Clark Quigleys are just a minor offshoot of the Quigleys, but the Quigleys, they've got some horrifying tales.
Some of them even have anything to do with planes.
Yeah. Well, no, the Quigleys don't really do planes.
So
Shotguns, they could be shotguns.
she drags you to the barn, pushes the door open, and there is a fairly ramshackle-looking, crappy biplane of a crop duster.
Okay. I will look around the barn before I go in, ostensibly to see what there is in the way of tools, but also what there is in the way of lurking triggers with koshes.
Scrutinise.
So, where's my scrutinize? It's, there.
Dummy's hiding the cloud. I'm going to get shut down. Good Lord, Fish.
At 25,
Jesus!
I can read the
Fishy!
serial number on the plane from out here.
Yeah. Okay, so
God's fish.
there is no one there to smack you on the back of the head with a kosh. You are sure of that. The barn's full of hay. If anything had been disturbed by someone hiding, you'd have spotted it. The plane itself has clearly had people around it, presumably trying to fix the thing up. There are still some elements of hay in the radial engine. That won't take much to clear out. It's a two-seater. Yeah, it probably is airworthy. You're sort of fairly quick, but practiced glance can't see any major structural problems with it. The spars are all in place. The wires between the wings are fine.
Can I make an Academia Airplanes roll to tell her exactly what kind of plane it is?
Yeah, go for it.
I wish I had that skill.
But not with a roll of 2.
That would have been hilarious, but no. But yeah, it's fairly
That
crappy.
is a plane.
Can you fly it?
If it flies, I can fly it. Let's take a look. Okay, so yeah, first things, obviously he'll have a proper look over the engine, check whether it has any fuel, little things like that.
It does have fuel, yes.
Make sure that the rudder and ailerons and so forth actually work the way they're supposed to when you move things in the cockpit.
Yes, again, a basic pre-flight check, which is what this sounds like it is.
Yeah.
Everything moves. There's no sticky bits.
Okay. Yeah. He will fire it up then.
It coughs. It splutters. There's an almighty loud bang, and a puff of smoke comes out of the one of the many exhausts. And then nothing happens.
The chicken egg is fired across the room.
Along with the quiet remains of the chicken.
But the engine doesn't start.
That ain't so good. You know what? I know a guy who can get this started. If he can get it started, I can fly it.
Brilliant. Where's your guy?
So I'm becoming a literal wingman.
Yes.
He should be back on our airship, but just so happens that my plane is parked right outside the bar. Why don't we go get him?
It's the one with all the engine hanging out.
Okay, so you take this lass back to where your plane's parked up,
Yes.
and sure
Now
enough,
I will
there
be
is
dragging her.
Robinson with bits of hose and cable and wiring in hand, looking up at you.
Okay, I would worry about this guy under any other circumstances. I mean, literally, I left him back on the airship. He was on the bad debt. I come back to my plane, and he's here, and he's taken the engine out. This is not what we pay you for.
So looks like you'll be flying in my plane then. Can you get my? She looks straight at you. So can you get my plane started? Sugar,
Wait,
please.
Come.
I'm fixing a different plane. I haven't even finished fixing this one yet.
Okay, you got... We'll get a drink. You got till we finish our drink to put this back to put Nelly back together. Then you're gonna fix this lady's plane.
It just needs to be together.
I'm really
Needs
eager for
to
you.
fly.
I'm really eager for you to show me you can fly anything. I want you to fly my plane. If I give him $50 to do my plane now, we go fly my plane.
Yeah, but then my plane is here in pieces, and I love my plane.
But you'll be flying my plane, and he can fix yours while you fly mine.
That's wandering off into God.
Well, I can put the engine in the pilot seat for now, and then go fix this other plane and come back to yours.
I've
Okay.
seen Robinson building an Imperium. I'm now scared about his idea of how to get it working.
I'm slightly concerned about his idea of how big the engine is.
Pilot seat. That's not a good sign.
Just how many pieces is the engine in for it to fit in the pilot seat? Yeah, let me just draw your
Okay.
attention to... Okay, the engine is half the plane.
Yeah, it is a big engine for a small plane.
It is genuinely a thoroughbred race plane that's had a gun added to it. It is
Yeah.
a set of wings strapped to an engine.
And they're not very big wings either.
No.
Nothing but power.
Yeah. most of the maneuvering that takes place with this plane has to do with getting it pointed in the right direction and allowing the engine to pull it through. Flies almost like a helicopter, so it's like nose up a lot of the time. You get this so that it will all be here when we get back. Then you
Completely
fix this
the
girl's plane.
So
You want
not
it
much in the
all.
way of picking it together. I wanted it to be shiny.
Oh god. He's cleaned all that nasty oil off the engine.
No, as a mechanic, he does know.
Little Nelly is actually shiny.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because more time is probably spent keeping this plane looking shiny and neat than it is spent worrying about whether or not the gun fires.
I'll make a note of that. The gun will jam first time he tries to shoot from it.
Wacko.
Yes, there's your fault, Fish. You said it.
Yep, true. I didn't say no time was spent on the gun. I just said less than was spent polishing the chrome.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you've made Meki's day by your plane being shiny.
Yes, I spotted that.
Oh. Okay.
Okay, so how long will it take him to get the plane, to get Nelly back at least to a position where there are not bits all over the place?
It's not actually as bad as it looks at first glance. He's only got a few bits and pieces out. It won't take him long to keep it secure to the point that he can then go and fix the other lass's plane.
Nah, it's four-wheeler.
Yeah, probably about the time it takes to have a drink.
Yeah, okay, in that case, yeah, we'll get a drink. So this
So-
means I'm going to be flying a crop duster that may or may not be working properly, and I'm going to be doing it on 3 drinks.
Yep.
Keeping tabs of this.
Drut,
Oh god. Yes.
you are flying through the cloud.
Okay, so yes, I've gone up over and
Yeah.
yeah, trying to fly casually and hope not to be seen. But I am going to have to drop out of the cloud because I literally can't see a damn thing.
Flying by instruments in a 1930s aircraft only works well for so long.
No, I've got altimeter, that's about it.
Yeah,
To be
altimeter,
honest.
artificial horizon. You know how high
Yeah.
you are. You know roughly where the
Yeah.
horizon is. What you don't know is where the mountain is.
Yeah, I was going to say, correct me if I'm wrong, Colorado, renowned for being pointy.
Yeah, Skyhaven, renowned for being built on a mountain.
Yes. So I'm going to have to drop down below the level of the cloud, so out of the ostensible concealing safety of the cloud, so I can get my bearing.
Can I
I can
have
get my
a
bearings.
piloting roll, please?
You can indeed, please.
As you drop out of the cloud, you realise that you've been in the cloud for too long, and that mountain we were just talking about is right in front of you.
Okay, well that's a 10.
Fortunately, you're a good pilot.
Okay.
There's a few blades of
Well,
grass
there's a
that are a little bit shorter as you cut it a little fine over one of the grass sides of the mountain.
Uh-huh.
Would have made a wonderful picture opportunity for someone like Chuck.
Great. You have just entered showtime.
There's that cat purring again.
Yeah,
And
isn't it?
the other thing that becomes abundantly aware of to you, now that you're out of the clouds and you can see your surround, as you bank hard to avoid the mountain, you can see that you've got 2 escorts.
Oh, back up.
2 brigands in top hat colours. In fact, for those of you wondering exactly what the brigand looks like, it's on Fish's backdrop.
Ah. Cool.
4 big guns at the front
Oh, shit.
and a turret at the back.
Oh, double shit.
So if she dies, do I get paid?
In fact, I think, yep, it's on the cover of the boxed game as well. So
Huh.
that's the rear view of the brigand.
Right. Okay, so basically, I'm slightly up the creek.
They haven't
They
made any
decided to
aggressive
go
manoeuvres,
out.
but they are definitely shadowing you.
Yeah. Fish. I'm about to get shot down.
Well, you see, if you will cause trouble, I'd just like to point out it's not me who's going to get shot then. I'm not causing trouble. I'm just going to crash in an unskyworthy crop duster.
Yep. Yeah, I'm sure the big
Knight
enough
actually
catapult.
doesn't have any real plot. He's just going to kill us off in one session, blame us.
Yeah,
I'm going to let you guys
had a
kill
really
yourselves off.
epic scenario.
yeah. No, you see, if you'd lived past session 1, I had all these binders full of plot now, and now I'm just going to chuck. Right, okay.
This book of source material here, I'm not going to need that.
Yeah. God, book of vile darkness. Right. Draft again. Okay, what I am going to do then is I'm just below the bed of the clouds. I have just had to bank left or right.
You've banked left and pulled up the nose hard. Effectively, yeah, bank left, pull back on the stick hard so that you cut the mountain very, very close, but don't actually make contact.
Okay. Are my escorts now more towards in front of me because they were behind me when I came down out of the clouds?
They were well behind you. You spotted them because you had to bank so hard to avoid the mountain.
They were behind me, okay. Yeah. I am simply then going to act as if I am ignoring them. However, what I am actually doing is flicking up the covers on the firing studs on my guns.
Now, remember, whilst your fighter does have turrets, it needs someone to be manning the turret for the guns to fire.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, and this is possibly me being wrong. I've got, is it twin machine guns at the front and then a turret at the back?
That's right, yeah.
So I've got
you've got machine guns. There is a turret at the back for your gunner, should you ever have one.
Yeah.
But currently you're flying solo.
But climbing out of the cockpit and into the turret in mid-flight is a bad thing, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, just
I don't even want to know what kind of skill checks you're looking at to accomplish that.
Now, interesting thing about the Brigand, and I need to double check if it's the same mechanic that runs for your fighter. The gunner for the Brigand sits immediately behind the pilot, not in the turret. It's all it's controlled by wires.
Oh right, okay, fly by wire time. Okay. Well, yeah. So.
So you're flying as if you're ignoring them. What are you doing then?
Right, I am going to fly. I'm going to dip my nose, so I'm basically aiming down below them.
Yep.
And I am going to attempt to fly underneath them, back in the direction of the landing strip.
Okay.
But I am ready for them to act in an aggressive manner because I don't think they're going to let me get away this easily, having seen where they're parked. So, yes, I'm staying aware of their position, and as I said, I'm ready to open fire if need be. Fortunately, now they're in my front arc, so I'm feeling slightly happier about this.
Okay. So keeping a weather eye on them as you perform this manoeuvre, you notice that they keep their distance. They turn to match your direction, but stay behind you. So they've flown past you, flipped over, descended in altitude.
Okay.
And they are now flying behind you as you head back towards the landing strip.
Okay.
To be honest, Meki, Skyhaven is a lawless thing. If you start shooting up the local terrain, pretty much every pilot and pirate in the area is going to think you're an idiot and start shooting at you. But there is no actual air militia in Skyhaven.
Okay. So, in that case... I'm going to start weaving slow arcs. First to the left and then arc to the right.
Okay.
I want to see if they try and match my trajectory.
Okay. They do, but they're still keeping their distance. They're definitely not closing to anywhere close to gun range.
Yeah.
Robinson. And my dog.
My time to shine.
Right, so you've finished putting together the very simple bits you'd taken apart on Fishy's aircraft, and headed over to the barn where Fishy and this strange woman had indicated there was a plane in need of repair. You get to the barn, and there is indeed a really, really crappy biplane of a crop duster. Looks like it probably hasn't seen the skies in quite some time. And it needs fixing, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Is it compatible with rocket engines?
No.
You could put rocket engines on, but you'd never get the fuel.
So let's see. Biplane. So wooden superstructure, canvas, skin,
Oh,
rocket
God.
engine. That's not overly compatible.
No.
Anything is compatible with rocket engines. Not everything is compatible with functioning rocket engines.
Exactly.
Fairly
what he
true.
said.
Right keyboard. Just typing the right one. Okay. So I'm just getting this working again, right? There's no improvements needed.
Correct. Well, that was the brief. Get it working.
Okay.
I take it we're still in the barn.
Yep.
So I just walked off to a strange place on my. This sounds like a great idea.
Never split the party.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely, never
We
split
now
the
have the party mechanic working alone in a bar on an aircraft that doesn't belong to the party.
Yeah.
We've got the leader being winged by two guys in dedicated combat
Yeah.
planes, and Fishy at the bar carousing a strange woman who's currently explaining her family
She's not that
history.
strange a woman. She's got a plane.
Yeah, her family were farmers, and she really wants someone to teach her how to fly. And
Yeah, and he's bought into it wholesale. Hook,
He'll teach her to
line.
fly. Everyone should fly. She'll never fly as well as him,
So-
obviously.
so Robinson, can I have
Yes.
a scrutinise roll first to get a look at what might possibly be wrong with this aircraft?
Okay, that's up there. Something. Ah, there it is. I just clicked the dice button, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that was terrible.
That was terrible. Yes. Would you
nothing
care to use
terrible,
a
but,
chip?
Yeah.
Don't forget you have these chips.
You
Yes,
could
you have
spend a white
chips.
chip to roll an extra die.
Hmm.
What type of dice are you rolling on Scrutinize?
D6. But I'm rolling 4 of them.
Okay.
Wait, is it 4 of them? No, wait, it's not. Okay, it's a skill, isn't it?
Yes, it's one.
So it's 1d6.
So you've got a blue chip. Now, a blue chip would be roll and add to your highest score. White is roll an extra die of the same type. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Yep.
that's correct.
So is that recommended? I don't really know how dice rolls.
So if you roll if you choose to spend
Average
a
out.
white chip, you'll be rolling another d6, which may or may not give you better than a 4.
Yeah.
Given that the
5 or
baseline
6,
target number is going to be 5,
Yeah.
Okay.
that gives you a 2 in 6 chance of getting what might be a moderate success. If you use a blue chip, you roll and add on to it. So you're
Which, giving you
guaranteed
a
at least a
4
5.
is guaranteeing you at least that base level of success.
And a blue
Yeah.
chip, if I remember rightly, doesn't give me a draw.
No, the blue chip is the safe one,
Yeah.
but it's also
Okay,
the best
so-
chip in the game. There's only 10 of them in the pot.
But that does put it back
Do
in the
you
pot when
really want to use it on finding out why this woman's plane doesn't work?
There is that as well,
Yeah.
yes.
But I'm
Okay.
not...
I mean, obviously, if it came down to it, Chuck would spend the chip, but he's impulsive.
This is true.
So if I just use a white one for now and just go with whatever I
Okay,
get.
so that gives you another die to roll. Of course, if you roll a 6, it explodes, and you can then add that onto the
Yeah.
6. Like that.
Okay.
Much
So-
better.
Much better.
So
Yes.
9 on a d6, that's not bad.
The white chip was clearly a good spend.
Yep.
So, you give this aircraft a solid once over. All the control lines are in place.
You step back and say, aha, I see what's wrong with this plane. It's crap.
But you also spot that there is a crimp in the fuel feed.
Ah.
Someone's basically put a hose clip on it and tightened it too tight. Remove that, and the fuel will flow, and the plane will fly.
Spice must flow. Property of Medusas. If found, please return.
Am I going to need to roll to do that, or is that just
No, the role was to
Straightforward.
spot what this really, really simple flaw was.
It's listed as trivial difficulty.
Yes.
It's basically who can't undo a Jubilee clip.
Exactly.
well, he couldn't apparently?
He didn't look to see what it was. He thought, I know a mechanic.
Yep. That's your job, not mine. My job's to fly them.
Fair enough.
So, yeah, you reckon removing that should do the job?
Okay. So that's just a straightforward task. Do I actually need
Yep.
to roll or anything?
No need to roll.
So it should fly now.
Should do.
Should fly.
Should do. I mean, the only way to test it for sure would be to actually try and fly it. But
If only you knew a maniac who was willing to fly anything.
Give it a test flight if you want. You know, I won't take any responsibility for anything that happens this time.
So I take it you're coming to the bar and telling us that it's flyable.
Yeah.
See,
With
I
it
told you.
together.
Okay.
Bit of a weirdo, but he's a darn fine mechanic.
and you can spot
You're
that
two.
was
a
compliment.
weirdo. Yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
It's warm. It's
So,
common.
having heard that the plane is flyable, this lass is very, very keen to drag you back to the aircraft.
Yep. Oh, that's okay. He's keen. There's a plane here that he hasn't flown. He's. I'm not sure which is the bigger motivation here. It's a plane he hasn't flown, and yeah,
A
there's
girl
a young
he
lady who
hasn't
wants him to
flown.
fly it.
Yes. Girl he hasn't flown with, not the girl he hasn't flown. I came out wrong.
So,
Okay, so you say it is a two-seater.
yes,
Um,
two-seater
the
in tandem.
second seat, is it just a passenger seat?
The second seat is a passenger seat, yes.
Good,
No controls in the second seat.
It's not the instructors where they've got
good.
duplicated.
And
Correct.
just purely out of interest, because it affects the way the way he will fly, is the passenger in front of the pilot or behind the pilot?
Passenger is in front.
Good, that's what we like to hear. Okay, well, first off, I suppose I'll start the engine again.
Okay, it coughs.
This time it worked.
It coughs, it splutters, it sounds like it's not going to start, and then it gets going.
Uh-huh. You have opened the doors enough, haven't you, to get it out?
He's
Yeah,
gonna fly
they look
through
open
the side of the bar.
They look open enough. It's called barnstorming for a reason, guys.
Oh god. Oh no.
So yeah, sliding open the portion of the canopy and the passenger seat, he will offer her a lift up. Mademoiselle. I
Such a gentleman.
She clambers in
don't know
quite
why he
happily.
said it in that accent. But
No idea.
no.
Channeling Remy now. What the hell?
Given he actually speaks fluent French.
Yeah. Point. Ah.
Right, so yes, then taxi sedately out of the barn
Mm-hmm.
and then attempt to get into the air.
Okay, piloting roll.
Okay, now this is going to be a difficult one. I'm not very good at piloting. That's actually only an 11, which is not great on 5d12,
It's, but you did.
but I did get an 11.
Yeah,
so
you did get
that's
an 11, and
basic
there's also a
success
10
more
there
or
as a backup. So
Yeah.
yeah. The controls are a little stiff. Probably could do with a little lubrication on some of the various linkages, but not dramatically worrying. And you get this thing in the air.
He will, given her that, from our conversation, he is well aware that she wants to learn to fly. He will have talked through the entire process of actually taking off. She still won't actually know how to do it, obviously, because she can't see what he's doing. But he will. He is playing not just to the fact that she wants to fly, but for the fact that she wants to know how to fly. So he is telling her what he's doing as he's doing.
Innovation.
Given how crap this plane is, he'll get a little bit of safe altitude before he does anything too scary with it. But then once he's got up into the air, he's going to show off. So he's just going to take a sharp bank towards where the bad debt is, because he's going to show off that we've got an airship.
So the plane that until recently was mouldering in a barn, that you've now stolen.
No, it's her plane. I haven't stolen anything.
Did you check to see the driver's license?
Of course not. I'm impulsive.
You're flying hard in a plane that has only recently been put back together by him.
Hotshot pilot. He doesn't know how not to fly hard.
Fly hard. This time there's gravity.
Yes.
Right, while you're out there flying towards the bad debt, the girl that...
he's collecting them up as they hit the ground because he thinks she might want them.
You can see quite clearly, because she's sat in front of you, that she's pointing over that way.
Well, I will look where she's pointing.
Where she's pointing at is a rather nice formation of rock where a river that's coming down the mountain has worn away a little bit of a cavern. And there's also like an islet over the top of it that looks like the sort of thing you would like to fly through.
Oh, no.
Yep, it does indeed. Well, let's see what this baby will do.
Masha's cautious soul is suddenly going into spasms remotely.
Not going to go with He's going to do this fly through considerably more carefully than he would do in Nelly, because he would just gun the engine and go for it with Nelly. He's going to be a bit more careful with this one. He's going to do it at a more sedate pace, but he will nevertheless do it. Flying roll? Piloting
Absolutely.
roll?
And there's that explosion.
That's a 14. She's
Okay.
pretty good on the D12.
Right. Can I also now have a scrutinize roll? Scrutinize roll.
Scrutinize. Seven. It's not too bad.
Okay. So you size up that, this plane would fit through, so long as it goes that
Always
way.
important.
And you fly through quite happily.
That way.
As the plane goes through the arch,
A horrible scraping noise.
something
Butterfly net.
falls out.
Oh
You say out rather than off.
Out of, difficult to tell. You're focusing mainly on the flying because it's a new plane. There's not
But
quite
there's
so
a
much.
definite
But
fall.
there's a definite thing about the size, about that sort of size.
Oh god.
Seems like it falls out from the passenger seat area.
Did you throw something out of the plane?
No?
Oh, that's suspicious.
Okay.
This whole thing is suspicious.
I think something fell off. Hang on a moment. I'm not going to do any flashy flying because I'm worried that something has fallen off. No, I'm not worried that the plane might crash. I'm worried that it might hold the passenger seat in or something, and then I lose her as I do a sharp turn.
If you do a barrel roll fast enough, centripetal force will keep the passenger seat in.
Keep her in, yeah. So I'm going to do a nice gentle turn, and then I'm going to fly back, lowish, looking to see if I can see what fell out. Not what it was, because I'll be
Right.
up in the air, but where it landed.
There is someone stood. You didn't see him because of the angle you approached to the arch, but having turned back, there's someone stood at ground level. Looks like he's picking something up off the ground.
You know, I may be young, but it might surprise you to know that I wasn't actually born yesterday, so what have we just delivered to who?
Yes, how does it feel to be a courier?
If you don't say nothing more, it's all good. Sorry, that's
So-
shouted backwards across the...
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I'm assuming that there is
Yeah.
a lot of shouting involved in
Yeah.
this
You
conversation.
don't say nothing more, we're good.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna gain too much altitude, just enough to get over the little arch thing. Then I'm gonna flip the plane upside down.
Austin.
You've not been
Now-
upright for more than 5 minutes at any stage in this game.
Well, I know now that the seat's not going to fall out because whatever it was wasn't part of the plane.
Fair enough.
Now, you say if I don't say nothing else, but maybe I don't need to say nothing. Maybe I just need to go back and find out what that was, because I could easily do that. You know, I could turn around, I could fly back, you know, real low so I can see what it is. Be a shame if somebody was in the way of the propellers when that happened.
This is where the precision comes in, is
I'm-
it?
Looking for
all right.
things like trees and rocks and so forth to fly over, not very far off, by the way.
Okay, let's
Would you
have
like
a
to-
piloting roll to
Spooch all of my
spook the heck out of your passenger.
I don't know exactly how they work, but I bought 3.
Oh, you bought 3
what they
manoeuvres.
were called 3 fancy flying.
Yeah, so you've got 3 manoeuvres.
And I was thinking low-level flying, if that's possible, would be one of those. I don't know
Yep.
how that would.
That would
Absolutely.
work perfectly.
I would definitely have that.
Yeah, quite happy to have low-level fly past. Oh my word!
It's only a 15.
Ah,
All right. Just land the plane, and I'll tell you. Just land the plane. Put it down.
Okay, I will. She's slightly annoyed me, so I will just
She's slightly annoyed.
head
you.
back and land the plane outside the bar behind Nelly,
I just
rather
briefly
than back
wondered,
at the barn.
briefly wondered if you were going to nail it upside down.
And as you're coming into land, you can see Madonna's plane coming down towards the strip.
Mm-hmm.
With I hesitate to call them escorts, but because they're a fair distance behind, but one either side following her.
Uh-huh.
You know, Doll, we are going to have to table this conversation for a later time. Climbing. And banking towards Madonna.
You're in a bloody crop duster!
And checking whether this crop duster has a radio, which I'm guessing the answer is going to be no.
Correct.
Okay. It is open, isn't it? His cockpit.
This one, yes.
Yes. Right. Any chance of a scrutinise roll to spot who's flying this crop duster before I reflexively shoot it down?
Yes. Let's have a scrutinise roll. The last thing we want is
12.
for you to reflexively shoot fishy.
Yeah. 4d12.
Can I use my dodge skill when in a plane?
Detonation.
Okay,
Right,
detonation's
so-
good. That means she's probably spotted that it's you.
Right. So that is a detonation leading to a total of 20.
Bloody hellfire. Okay,
D12s.
that is
One of the
Midas
skills.
piloting this crop duster that you've never seen before.
With
Right.
a girl in the other
It looks like a
passenger
piece
seat,
of-
which doesn't
piece of
surprise
garbage.
you in the slightest.
Sitting in front of him in the passenger seat is a female.
Right. Okay. he's pulled. But I don't know whether he's pulled the plane or the girl.
So I am going to sort of bank past Madonna, completely ignoring her plane, other than the fact that I'm going in that direction and past her,
Yeah.
and head straight towards one of the two escorts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to rise slightly in my seat, and I'm basically going to wave my arms above my head in a panicky kind of way while flying straight towards it, because I've got no control of the plane.
So you grew up in the flying circus then?
I grew up in a flying circus.
Yes. Oh god. Oh,
And I'm going to
what's
yell.
my
I mean,
best?
over the noise of the planes, nobody will hear it. But just for efficacy, or not efficacy, for just completeness, really.
Effect.
I am going to be yelling loudly, "Get out of the way!"
Oh god. Please can I have a cognition check to figure out what the hell he's doing?
Yes.
Thank
You can make a cognition check. Oh god.
Right, okay, so...
So-
God, 23.
Right. You've worked out exactly what he's doing. Fishy,
Yeah.
just so that you're completely aware, because I'm not sure if you were there when I described it or not, but the two escorts that Madonna has are Fairchild Brigands in top hat colours. The Brigand being
Yep.
the poster plane of Crimson Skies, right behind you on your backdrop. Two of those.
Because I was thinking earlier on the Crimson Skies, presumably box art or something, splash screen that we're currently sitting on
Yeah.
in Roll20. Am I wrong in thinking that is actually exactly the right planes? It's a
Yes.
Brigand at the front and whatever it is that Drut's flying
Yeah.
heading
Not
towards
quite,
it on
no.
the right hand side.
No,
It's not, isn't it? Because it
No.
looks a lot like it.
It's
It
very
does.
similar. Drut's plane is a twin boom. That is
Yeah,
a
what's
Grumman. It's not a twin boom, that one.
Is it?
The one on the right? No. No,
Oh,
that's
hang
a-
on the picture you showed on Fish's
Oh,
backdrop.
on the
Hang on.
Fish's backdrop. No, right.
Yeah, Fish's backdrop, the thing
Yeah.
behind his left shoulder, well,
Yeah.
our
No, I'm
left
not thinking. I wasn't
shoulder.
thinking of the one on my backdrop. I was thinking of the one on Roll20. But if it's not, it's not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
I
The
accept
one
that.
on Roll20, sorry, on
But the
Fish's backdrop is
fuselage looks
closer.
very like
Mm.
a very similar shape.
No, the thing behind your
Right
right
shoulder.
shoulder, Fish, is
closer.
closer to mine.
Yeah.
Fair
Still,
enough.
Still not the
It's got
same, but
it's got the
it's got the
rear
twin
mounted
engine and the
turret.
central nacelle.
Yeah.
It's kind of somewhere between those two planes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You merge the two together, you'd get something that looks a lot like this.
You know, I'm just kind of thinking that
So-
we could shoot down these guys now. There's two of us.
And yeah, if I had any guns, maybe we could.
Yeah.
So,
Would you want
Fishy,
me to
you're
shoot them down
doing
with
the
bad
whole
language?
waving, get out of the way thing.
Yeah.
And
How does the pilot of this particular top
Well,
hat plane respond
you
to a
can-
lunatic flying towards him?
you can see the plane start to maneuver, so clearly he's spotted this. Possibly what you weren't expecting was the worst display of airmanship you have ever seen in your
somebody
life.
rolled badly.
Please let him fly into his plane.
What this guy does is, clearly in a panic, roll to his left, towards his wingman.
Oopsie. And flip.
There is a collision, and not to a massive degree, a sort of scraping of extremities. Definitely things fall off one of the two aircraft. The guy who panicked and banked away gets very close to the ground before he recovers control of his aircraft.
I'm going to go left. That's his left. Since hang on, which way did he go?
He banked left.
Back left.
He banked to
He
his
went
left.
So yeah, my left. I was right thinking
Yeah,
left. and
Other
first.
direction.
Yeah, I'm going to go left away from them to turn back round and head towards my original. I think actually under the circumstances, I don't want this plane associated with Nelly now, so maybe I will take it back to the barn. I could have given Madonna a little bit of leeway to get some distance from them.
Yes. Indeedy poos. Madonna has a choice at this stage.
She
I
does.
can either use that to get some distance, or I can take advantage of the confusion and get some shots in.
You pick a fight now, you're on your own.
I know I am. You're flying basically a watering can.
I'm flying the plane equivalent of a 2CV.
Leaks about.
I like the idea of flying a watering can.
Yes.
It's inaccurate. It is a crop dusty, yes.
Yeah, it pretty much is. I'm flying a water.
Yeah, it leans out.
If I had anything in the dusting tanks, then maybe I could be of some use to you.
Did you
As it
check?
is-
But yes.
I didn't check actually. I'm just assuming that they're empty.
But what I'm going to do is, in fact, because she has the cautious disadvantage, is I am not going to pick a fight when I literally have no backup,
Okay.
except him in a watering can.
He's got one less gun than his regular aircraft.
Yeah, that's the problem. Unfortunately, that works out to 100%. So, what I am
100%
going
less
to do
guns.
is, while they are attempting to hit each other, I am banking to my left. So they've gone that way. I will go the opposite direction, which ironically is the same direction that Fishy's going.
Okay, so that'd be your
And-
right, because they were following
Yeah,
you, so
sorry.
if they bank left, you'll be banking
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, sorry, my apologies. I got the wrong way around. Yeah, I'm going to bank right and attempt a nice big loop where I can lose them between the mountainous areas
Okay.
and see if I can contour run while they're
Right.
distracted.
Piloting roll.
Distance. Yay!
Clearly you've been watching Midas a little bit much.
I think it's
Getting
just
some ideas.
I don't do this for fun. Doesn't mean that I can't. Holy hellfire! Okay.
That's either good or bad.
Well, that's a 12, so we'll reroll for that. And that's. Hang on, does Deadlands do that? That's never a good thing to hear, is it?
No.
Deadlands do what?
Exploding, if I recall correctly, does happen multiple times.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
you
yeah.
roll another 12, you keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
This is going to be a big number.
33.
Jesus wept.
I rolled that on a test roll before the stream started, and I thought I'm never seeing that number again. I was wrong. It just wasn't going to come from me.
Yeah. gonna do
Okay.
a thing, do it
Yes, if you're
properly.
going to do a thing. Are you going to rename your fighter the lawnmower?
Yeah, it's tempting. Strimmer.
Okay, so in the time it takes them to recover, you can quite happily lose those in the contours of the area.
Yeah.
Fishy, from your position on this, you've seen those guys barrel off and take some time recovering anything of what they were doing, and you've seen Madonna fly off into the contours, and you can choose where you go from there.
I will I'll arc round and head back to the barn. Yeah, I wasn't going to land at the barn, but now I think I will.
Okay. All the while, the girl in the front seat is screaming, "You're crazy!"
Use me to make
Honey,
a
I
drop.
told you, I can fly anything. Just think yourself lucky I don't have any guns on me.
Why?
If I had a pistol, I could have taken those guys.
Oh, dear God. I think he'd have given it a go as well.
There was this time once with this guy called Oberman, right? And yeah, he was messing around and annoying the hell out of me, and I wasn't going to stand for that because he had this idea he was a better pilot than me, and well, no, he was not a better pilot than me. So what I did is I came in on top of him, and I flipped the plane, flew little Nelly in close upside down, like we were flying earlier on, right? Opened up the cockpit, and I shouted out to him. And what I did, I said, "Hey, Oberman," I said, "your plane's on fire." And he shouted back, "No, it isn't." And that's when I brought my left hand up, which had the flare gun in it. Pop! It is now. Classic. You'd have loved it.
You're crazy!
Well, look, here we are, home sweet home.
I don't think she's going to ask you to go up in there again.
I think you could be right.
I somehow don't think he's going to lose any sleep over that either.
No.
He's had some fun.
Yeah. You're easily pleased, aren't you?
So you put the aircraft down, bring it to a stop. You've probably never seen anyone so keen to get out of an aircraft in your life.
Has he not seen me in an aircraft yet, then?
So, you want to book a second lesson?
No.
Oh. Thank you
Well,
for that.
you change your mind, Dollface. You know where to find me. And I will stroll off back to make sure that he's put my plane back together again, probably.
And she goes running for the bar.
Yeah.
No idea what I just got involved in, but
Right, he has indeed put your plane back together properly.
good.
Everything looks as it should. And Drut,
Yeah.
as you are bringing your fighter down to land,
Uh-huh.
your radio squawks to life.
Yeah, huh?
Chief, you might want to get everyone back here to the Zep. We've got a visitor.
Right.
Some guy in a suit says he wants to talk to you.
He's early. Okay. I will.
Or is it different key?
Yeah. Or I will flick to an open channel. My guess. On the stream?
Hey, boss.
Back to home, please.
Assuming Merlin has put Nelly back together properly, I'm on my way.
Oh, and tell him to come home as well. Something's up.
Hey, Merlin. Gotta get back to the barn.
How did I actually get down from the airship in the first place? Did I
Well-
have the auto jump?
You have an auto gyro, which, if you have a piloting skill, you can fly. Alternatively, the fighter that Drut's currently flying is multi-person.
That's true. Okay,
You
decide
do
whether
know
or
where
not.
there's a two-seater crop duster nearby.
That may or may not be scared, belong to some very, very scared woman.
Yeah, decide whether or not you have a piloting skill, because that will determine whether or not she comes down for you.
When you say decide, I
Yeah,
think
that
what you
would have
mean is
already been
check.
decided.
Seems good.
Right, in that case, yes, I will come down. Since I now know Merlin is down there, which I didn't before, I will come down. Probably land on the same stretch of road that you're
Like
just
so Chuck
taking off
spends a
from.
lot of time trying to get people to share his cockpit with him. Merlin is not one of those people.
Well, you
The
don't want
idea
to
of Merlin and Midas in the same close proximity in an aircraft is terrifying.
You'd never get the engine oil off. That would just be all over the place.
Come on, I made this thing to go faster. Go faster.
Oh god. Right, yeah, I will probably then nose to tail you. As you take off, I will land and let Merlin
Yep,
get
fair
in,
enough.
and then head back. And we can find out.
Under the circumstances, given that she had what appeared to be unwelcome company earlier on, I'm not going to land straight away. I'm going to circle round a couple of times and fly back in formation with Maddie as she takes off. Of course, he never calls her Maddie to her face.
No, probably for the best.
As the pair of you are returning to the Bad Det, you can't help but spot some of the Medusa's aircraft returning from their sortie.
Only the Medusas, you say?
I say can't help but notice because at least two of them are exhausting huge plumes of black smoke.
That's pretty noticeable. But then so was the thing I was flying earlier, so it's not necessarily that uncommon.
I think they might be fixing.
Being a nosy git, I'm just going to dial my radio a bit and see if I can pick up any comms from them. See if they're
Okay,
talking to one another.
they are definitely talking to one another, mostly trying to talk each other through how to nurse a crippled ship, a crippled fighter back to their airship. Whatever happened, they got shot to hell.
Uh-huh.
I'm actually going to quickly switch back to our channel.
Mm-hmm.
We got some Medusas there having a spot above it. Maybe Merlin might be able to talk them through their troubles, earn us a few brownie points, like.
Huh. Have you got a frequency?
Yeah, he'll
Okay.
tell them what frequency you found them on.
Okay, I will flick over to their channel.
Someone else's
Yeah.
conversation. No thanks.
On the Medusas, you seem to be having some difficulty. This is Madonna. Tech is available to assist if you need some help.
We're fine. We don't need outsider help. We'll get back. Thank you for your offer.
Do try not to hit anything explosive, like us. Offer stands.
Like it.
Okay. So, right,
Oh,
yes.
la-dee-da.
Oh, they got the hump. Wonder if it went slightly pear-shaped at the top.
Private conversation.
This is not
Some
open.
people just don't like getting shot.
Yeah. But I don't see any top hats coming back with them.
No, you don't.
No?
No.
Which does raise interesting questions about who shot them.
Well, let's get landed. Or at least into the hangar. On the
Okay.
bad debt. Find
Yeah,
out this
while we're-
conversation first.
While we're stopped here, are we keeping the planes on board the Bad Debt, or are we keeping them on the ground on an airstrip?
I had assumed on board the Bad Debt. The Bad Debt has a hangar for 5 aircraft. You have 3.
I am cool with that. I just wasn't sure whether maybe while we're stable in one place, it might have been easier. But yeah,
I think
I'm fine with staying on the Bad Debt.
I think you were making tea when we decided we were moored
Yeah.
high enough so that if we're running chase drills and stuff, we need to be able to drop out the bottom.
Yeah, fair enough.
So yeah, I think you were teaing or catting. Possibly getting tea for the cat, I don't know.
Possibly.
Interesting.
Yes. Right. So let's see who our mystery man is behind door number 1.
Well, Mystery Man, please sign in now.
When you arrive and hangar your aircraft, there is a aircraft that isn't one of yours in the hangar. It bears the markings of your owners.
The committee.
Quite a pristine looking aircraft. Yeah, very shiny, and even the guns are gleaming.
Merlin, that needs some oil marks. Doesn't look like it's been properly maintained.
And once you've docked up and come along the gantry, waiting in the ready room, there is a very short, very terse-looking businessman.
Okay.
Suited and booted, briefcase on the desk.
Okay.
Morning.
No, I do not wish to ban night bites. Oh,
What?
Chatty just had a total fit and brought up the banning option for night bites when I moved my mouse
Ah,
on my chat.
please don't ban me.
Yeah, which was slightly odd. Okay.
Are you all present?
Yes.
It sort of looks around the room at the few of you that have gathered.
What can I do for you?
Stands up and walks across to you. Armand J. Duisberg. Offers his hand out to shake.
I'm not surprised that's for certain. Okay. She will also shake his hand, although I don't think she's very happy about it. What can we do for you?
It is more what I'm here for rather than what you can do for me. The committee has sent me to assess your efficiency as a crew. And sent me with a job for you to do for them. They
Well,
have...
sure, so what we do, so...
And you will do this one. they have had appropriated from them a thing. You will get it back for them.
A thing.
Yes, a thing.
Is that the technical term?
I have the details in my briefcase. When you are ready for a briefing, I will go through in detail.
Well, I don't see there being any time like the present. Give. Brief away.
Sit down. This may
Oh,
take
and
some time.
apologies to Dodokochi. Again, I've apologised to everyone else. Dodgy accents are happening.
Yep.
Dodgy accents are happening
Sure
everywhere.
are.
Yep. What else going on there in your chat? I've no idea.
I
Step
regret
away.
to present the committee in such a way, but they had a research project which has been stolen from them. The research
Really?
project they call Bloodbow.
Blood Bowl.
That doesn't sound like a very nice
No.
research project.
But,
Yes, and either the top hats or the Medusas got it.
No, they did not.
Really?
No. A crew that I had previously been completely unaware of have acquired it.
Ah.
A crew that, as far as I'm aware, have made no inroads elsewhere. Thus, we don't actually know what they're called, just the markings on their fighters.
Describe them.
It is a black bird of some sort. Not a swan, it's not the Black Swans crew. Definitely not that.
Yeah.
I would recognise that
relief.
marking.
Yes, that's a relief.
They're our arch nemesis. They're called Great Prophet.
They have stolen the Bloodbow. We would like it back.
Okay.
We have tracked
What?
them to Skyhaven.
It was that package that you just delivered, wasn't
Wouldn't
it?
surprise me in the least.
Could you give us some descriptions of this Blood Bowl?
Yes, I can.
What are we looking for?
He opens his briefcase and pulls out a rolled up blueprint, unties the binds across it, and rolls it out across the desk.
Melon, this is your area.
The Bloodbow itself is, to all intents and purposes, an unmanned aircraft.
It's not the thing you've given them then. It might be the blueprint.
The thing that was dropped out of the aircraft was literally that size. About the size of 2 decks of cards back to back. It is a... I don't even know how to describe it. It is flown by someone who's not in the aircraft. And it is launched
Oh,
from another aircraft.
Bit ahead of its time, isn't it? I want one of
That's
those. That sounds fun. I want to play with that.
that
What was stolen
sounds
was
dangerous.
the Bloodbow itself and its carrier. A heavily modified Bloodhawk.
Okay.
Now, the Bloodhawk is something you guys will have all heard of. It's the Nation of Hollywood's pristine fighter. It's a single-seat pusher, very, very fast, very agile aircraft. Only mounts a couple of guns, but it is supremely quick. Rumour has it that it's potentially the fastest militia aircraft out there, only surpassed by purebred racers.
Oh. You
Pretty
can't
sure
have
that
one.
Chuck will be really annoyed that he has never flown one and his dad probably has.
True.
In
both
fact,
So
Sounds-
I'm guessing this is radio controlled.
it's not a very good picture of it, but the plane in the foreground in this picture is a Bloodhawk.
Okay.
It's about the only picture I have amongst everything I've got set up here that has a Bloodhawk in it.
Right, gotcha.
It's a very sleek aircraft. The engine's at the back.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a pusher, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a pusher.
Yeah.
I have a feeling I may have the Clicks version of that.
I'm almost certain
So
I
I've got
do.
a couple of squadrons, and I have a feeling that may be one of them.
I'm feeling yes, it's in the cupboard.
And what the blueprints show is it shows like an outline of the Bloodhawk with what, to all intents and purposes, looks like a much smaller, scaled down Bloodhawk underneath it.
Well, if you don't have to fit a pilot in it, it can be considerably smaller. So, when was this stolen?
Stolen 3 weeks ago.
So, who currently has it?
That's part of what I need you to find out. All we know is that their squadron marking is that of a blackbird in flight.
Okay.
Something of the blackbird family, that sort of thing.
Everybody's ears open for the ravens, the crows, hell, the Poe. Somebody comes up with
So,
the call sign Nevermore.
We're going to be spending a lot of time wandering around Skyhaven looking at planes now.
Until we find out where it is, yes. And until we've recovered the blood bow, both the prototype and any documentation they took, I'm on board.
Oh, wonderful. We'll redouble our efforts.
And that's where
So-
we'll leave it for the night.
Okay.
To give you some time to work out just how you might start looking for this thing
Yeah.
that you've been given very little information on.
Yes. I wonder if you can conceal these new remote control ship as a very small, slightly battered crop duster.
I suspect not.
No, probably not.
No.
Right.
I do genuinely wonder whether it was stolen to order or whether whoever this new crew are, they stole it for themselves. Could well
Yeah.
be that finding them is just stage one, and they'll lead us to whoever they nicked it for.
Yeah.
But we shall see.
Yeah, there's a couple of options here. Yes.
Indeed.
Okay.
Oh, thank you very much for that, Nightbot.
That was good, yes. Enjoyed that.
Hopefully
Really
there's
enjoyed
enough
that.
there to keep you guys interested and to keep everyone that's been watching interested.
Yeah.
So Crimson Skies itself doesn't have a role-playing game attached to it, so we've borrowed the Deadlands system to overlay Crimson Skies on top of. Reason
Seems
being,
to work
I'm a
fine.
massive propeller head, and I love the Crimson Skies games in pretty much every format I've found them in. But it never had a role-playing game, so I've always wanted to run this story as a role-playing game. And here we go.
It does really surprise me that although there's been various skirmish incarnations, there's never been an RP of it.
I know,
Really-
I know.
really
Very,
shocks
very
me.
strange.
Well, the second incarnation of it, at least second tabletop incarnation of it, was WizKids, and WizKids, of course, weren't making RPGs at all. They had licensed off all of
Yeah.
their RPG
True.
properties to other people and were making just the Clicks games.
Yeah.
Then Tops bought them, and Tops weren't interested in RPGs at all. They weren't even interested in the Clicks games. They just wanted the Marvel licenses,
Yeah.
Marvel and DC.
Mm.
So they bought the entire company just to get the licenses from the comic companies,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
sort of took it from there.
the closest Crimson Skies came to any sort of role-playing game was the fact that the Clicks game that they did for it not only had the aircraft clicks, but also did a personal level skirmish clicks
Yeah.
for bar and brawl situations.
Yeah.
Which I think I managed to pick up every squadron that they did. I might have even picked up a couple of doubles so I could repaint them. I might have to look at that. Because if I can find a doubled squadron, I might just have to repaint the bad debt stuff. Do a stream painting up one or two
Yeah,
of the
that would be
planes
cool.
as bad debt planes.
Yay. I'd go with that. Right.
Anyway, folks.
So yeah, that was really good fun. I enjoyed that a lot.
Cool. Of course, it's not often you
So
two
we
get
will
to play in a
presumably
game, so
Back
No!
to play this again next week.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, indeed.
Yes, after we've been to Twitch London.
Yes, we may be a little bleary-eyed by the time we get back on Sunday from Twitch London, but we will be
So-
here playing this.
Yes.
Midweek multiplay of something on Wednesday.
Mhm.
Probably other streams by people along the way
Yep.
between here and the weekend. Then the weekend will probably be a bit quiet from us because we're going to Twitch London.
Yeah.
Friday will be a
Nice.
normal Friday. Saturday
Yeah.
will be a bit quiet, and then we'll be back
Saturday.
Sunday with more of this.
Yeah. Yeah. No one's allowed
then,
to
yes.
stream from Twitch London.
Yeah, which is rather. I can understand it, but it's a little disappointing.
Yeah, it is a bit. Yeah, I was hoping for ability to live stream off there, but never mind. We'll get there. And
Indeed. So if any of you are going to Twitch London, let us know. Happy to meet up, share a drink with you.
yeah.
Indeed.
Oh yeah, trucking would be really cool for maybe multiplayer for you lot. I could see that quite happily.
Yeah.
I like trucking.
Have
I like
internet.
trucking.
Repeatedly kick Lazarus until Euro Truck Simulator actually starts working again. Because at the moment it crashes every time I try and run it.
Oh, that's annoying.
That's a bugger.
I still get my random crashes for no apparent reason.
I hate that. When you know what it's doing, that's one thing. When you don't know why it's doing what it's doing,
I know what it's doing.
It's crashing every time I load it.
Yeah, in my case, it randomly crashes and takes OBS with it, which means I have to stop the stream.
Randomly. Given that I don't actually stream it, I'd be okay with random crashes if it ever worked. Such is
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, well.
I will be back Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday with an assortment of games. I really need to get back to Elite because I haven't touched that in like 3 or 4 weeks. So I suspect there will be some Elite coming up from me next week.
cool.
Friday may or may not be Lil Bites. She's been keen on doing her own thing and not necessarily streaming. So we'll see where that goes. As I say, Saturday is Twitch London, so I won't be streaming. And then Sunday we're back here with planes and trains and
Crimson
automobiles,
Skies.
possibly.
Yep.
Spoilers.
Planes and crashed vehicles or something.
Classic
Yes.
Crimson Dead Skylands or something.
Yes,
Crimson
classic
Dead
Crimson Dead
Skylands.
Skylands. Yes, that works. Kind of.
Absolutely.
I'm going to go away now because the conversation's getting weird.
It is
So,
getting
yeah,
weird, yes. Thank you
probably
all.
time to stop.
Good
the
night.
stream, so
Yes.
Thank
Good night.
you and good night.
Good night.